Hello.
Hi. No, you're saying hello to...
No, I'll say hi to you. Why not?
Hi.
Hi, man. How are you?
I'm great.
Okay. People love to hear us just fritter away our day together.
Well, we're waiting on you.
They're waiting on me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I was ready the day I was born.
Let's do it. I bet
August 7th.
I bet you don't even know what number episode we're on.
208.
You're right.
Hey, why is episode 206 afraid of episode 207? Because episode 207,
208,
Nice.
209.
Man.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work well with triple digits,
Yeah,
but
it falls apart.
the spirit, I think, was alive and
All
well.
right. Let's record.
Let's do it.
Welcome to episode 208 of the All the Book Show, recorded at the David A. Hale Public Library, where we talk book news, author news, and literary news. I'm Eric Mickles.
Why did you say that like you were sending a telegram?
Stop.
That was insane.
Listen, sometimes if there is
Yeah.
a pause in this introduction,
Yeah.
and I realize it, you look at me, and then I've just got more pressure.
It just throws you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's Eric Mickles,
Okay.
and I'm Nick Gunning.
This is funny.
Was it?
No.
It was getting a little Shatnery, so I had to stop.
Hey,
I had to stop.
this isn't part of book news or anything, so I'm just going to throw it in here.
I'm ready.
I was trying to figure out what kind of cat my cat is,
Okay.
because I was at the vet's and I was
It's
looking at
certainly
it.
not book news. You're
No,
right
it's
about
not book
that.
news. Well, Garfield's a cat, and he's in a whole bunch of books.
That's true.
So I was looking at the wall at the vet's
Okay.
at all the different cats, and I found one. It was called a Tiffany.
Okay.
So I think our cat is a Tiffany.
Oh, that's nice.
The-
Like Tiffany Amber Thiessen
Which one is she?
from Saved by the Bell or Beverly Hills 90210.
I guess.
Oh.
Well, so
Wow.
the chart said Tiffany's are
too good
beguiling.
for Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I guess.
Is Tiffany Amber Thiessen beguiling?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. Tiffany cats are apparently very social and make little chirp sounds like they're talking.
That's cute.
Is that
Your
Tiffany?
cat is the most antisocial cat I've ever seen in my life.
No, you're thinking Eloise.
Okay.
Tiffany's Blanche.
Okay.
Does Tiffany Amber? Oh boy, what's her name?
Tiffany Amber Thiessen?
Yeah, does she make little chirp sounds like she's trying to have a conversation?
She was a cheerleader in Saved by the Bell, so it was a lot of like...
Is she
Right.
social?
She's very social, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelly in Saved
Yeah.
by the Bell.
Well,
yeah.
you know what? It sounds like Tiffany and Tiffany's
if
have a
you're
lot in common.
If you're just tuning in, you probably think we're doing a Tiffany Amber Thiessen spotlight, and that's not what we're doing.
No.
Today we're coming to grips with the fact that summer is coming to an end. And
Summertime.
take it.
Sorry.
Okay. Summer's coming to an end.
Summertime. That's Will Smith.
So we're looking forward to the fall. What exciting new books are coming out?
Mhm.
Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the Hugo Awards because they've been announced.
Yeah, I've been announced.
So we got some congratulations to go out, and we're going to dig into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But right now, it's time for some bookmark.
You said that like Mrs. Garrett. Again.
Bookmark.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you want to do? You
Girls, what are you reading?
we once talked about doing a Facts of Life podcast,
Rewatch,
podcast,
Yeah.
and you flaked on
the
it.
facts about the facts of life.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, it'd be great. We could
all the facts about
get
the
to the
yeah.
Clooney years.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
You take the good, you take the bad.
I don't want to talk about George Clooney anymore because we just did another podcast together over on the Three Nice Things podcast.
Yeah.
Eric and I and Kendra hosted the Nostalgia
wife,
Me
the
This.
Invisible Woman.
Yes, we talked about Batman and Robin, and it was a ride. It was a thrill ride.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about George Clooney. We're going to talk about my bookmark. So I'm still...
People might
yes.
be able to hear. I don't know if they'll be able to hear, but
Well,
construction.
I would love to tell them what's
yeah, what's
happening.
going on?
Well, if you're not familiar with our building, it's 82 years old.
Older than Batman.
Yeah. The roof is made of handmade clay tiles. It's delicate up there. And there's a white cupola tower on top that needs to be repainted. So it's been a couple years of us trying to work out how to make this happen. And now it finally is, thanks to our friends over at MJ Painting. And right now, the scaffolding company is here building scaffolding literally right above where we are. So a man could fall through my roof at any minute. So don't be alarmed if that
Listen,
happens.
for safety reasons, I don't want that to happen.
You don't want... Well,
For content reasons,
okay.
that would be kind of fun.
As long as no one's harmed.
Right. If it's like in a sitcom
Yeah.
where, a new neighbor's upstairs.
Yeah.
But or maybe you have a new
Yeah.
neighbor downstairs.
Right.
And you want to make a good first impression, but your house is flooding.
Yeah.
And guess what? It just collapsed. And now you land on their couch
Right.
covered in water and debris. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, hi, I'm your neighbor from upstairs.
If that
And
happened,
they put their
yes.
hands on their hips and then commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. If that happens,
Yeah.
then I think we'd all be on board.
If
for
this is
that.
1996, who is the guest star that you're getting for the neighbor downstairs?
1996, huh? Could it be? What about Leah Thompson?
Okay,
You like
sure.
that, Leah
Yeah.
Thompson?
What was she doing in like the mid 90s?
I think that was post Caroline in the City.
Okay.
era.
All
so
right.
if you're looking for work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Leah Thompson's living downstairs.
Yeah, Leah Thompson lives downstairs. But that has nothing to do with the bookmarks and what we've been reading.
Say you end up dating her. Who plays her mother?
Leah Thompson's
Yeah.
mother. That's a good question. So you need somebody about 20 years
Yeah.
older than Leah Thompson.
Can you get Kathleen Turner?
Could Barbara Eden do it?
Barbara Eden is.
Of I Dream of Jeannie, who you've met.
Oh.
I think so.
Look,
That'd be a good.
this is all coming together.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Let's pitch
So,
this. Let's
yeah.
pitch this. I've been reading a lot of Green Lantern still. Some of the New 52. No. Yeah, it is New 52 Green Lantern. I'm rounding third base here, and I'm just about to finish this run. So that's what I've been reading. I won't bore you with all the details as I did last week, but I finished a big crossover called...
I think you got to give our listeners some credit. If they've been sticking with us for 208
They like the Green
episodes,
Lantern?
I think they just know to expect.
Okay.
Nick's going to talk a little bit about Green Lantern.
I read a big crossover called The Godhead, where Jack Kirby's like new gods, Darkseid and all that. Darkseid wasn't really in it, but that crew basically rumbles with the Green Lantern over this cosmic power. So it was 17 issues long, which
Rumble
is
in the
too
Space
many.
Jungle.
Too many.
How many? 17?
17.
Oof.
Yeah, it was a long stretch. Not particularly good, but decent.
That's a maxi series.
It was very long. So I read that. I also read The Infinity People by Dan DiDio, which is not good at all, and I only read it because it was part of this crossover, and
If you have Infinity People,
regrets.
you need an Infinity Planet.
I think it's Infinity Man and the Infinity Man and the Forever People. I'm pretty sure. is what it's called.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I read A Horse's Tale by Mr. Mark Twain. We got a Mark Twain program coming up in the near future, so we've been talking a little bit about Mark Twain.
Yeah.
This was good. It was okay.
Is this the horse version of White Fang?
No.
Oh.
Parts of it are narrated by the horse and parts of it aren't. So any horse narrated part, far be it from me to tell Mark Twain what he should do, but if that book had been narrated by that horse, I would have been all in.
Right.
It was kind of a it was kind of a sad story.
Right.
It was kind of a sad story.
How come there's not a whole subgenre of like Christmas-based horse stories?
I have read one.
Really?
Called the Christmas Pony. Christmas Pony. I want to say that was Melody Carlson. It was a good time. But that's not what we're talking about.
We'll be talking about that this December.
We sure will. We absolutely will. So I read A Horse's Tale. And you guys, I did it.
Okay.
From last episode, you may recall a little book called Harry's Last Tax Cut. And let me tell you what?
What?
I read it. And it was crazy. It was a crazy story about a man who, apparently in the first book, the brother dies, and he inherits the brother's children. And he says inherits every time he refers to that. So that's what I would say if your brother...
Can you inherit children?
I would argue no. If your brother dies and you get his sofa, you've inherited a sofa.
Right.
I don't think for children you can inherit them, but that's what happened.
You claim guardianship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's it.
So he's looking after his kids.
He
gets roped into a deal with Harry to take over this like tax business. Meanwhile, he has a sort of a best friend, almost love interest, almost co-parent in his bisexual accounting partner. I mention the bisexuality because it becomes an important plot point later on in which they fall for the same person instantly.
Oh, wow.
This happens instantly, and they are both... This is their forever now.
Okay.
They become the forever people. And they just
that's what this is
that's
about.
what, yeah.
Okay.
And
Jack Kirby was breaking new ground.
So that happens, and there's whole. I'm going to tell you some of the things that happen in this book.
Okay.
It turns out that Harry,
Jim Wycard, everybody.
His angle for this in this book is that Harry is basically cozying up with hookers and other I don't even know the word, other people who are getting money through dodgy means, so he can like report he's like a tax bounty hunter basically.
Ooh, okay.
So he's cozying up to hookers to find out like how much money they're making so he can report them to the IRS.
What?
Crazy, I know. And so his partner who comes in and doesn't really know any of this is suddenly like in the line of fire and goes through. And so things just keep happening and happening and happening. It gets really dark in places. It was a crazy book, and I was all in. So if you haven't read Harry's Last Tax Cut, we have it right here. The first book in the series, Casualty Lost, sets up Jay Jensen. I haven't read that book. Nobody in our system has it. It's not a very widely held book at all. But guess what? I ordered one.
Oh, my gosh.
So we're going to have one here. So if you want to read the Jay Jensen duology, I'll hook you up.
The George Jetson duology.
For more on Jay Jensen, you have but to look at our last episode Harry's Last Tax Cut.
That's true.
That's it, I think, as far as what I've read. I read other Green Lantern stuff, but again. And I'm currently reading still Rainbow Six by Tom Clancy.
Yeah, you had to put that aside for Harry's Last Tax Cut.
I did.
Yeah.
But as you predicted, I pounded right through it. It was less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a quick turnaround for
All
Harry's
right.
Last Tax Cut.
Yeah.
So that's me. What about you?
Did you see any?
Yeah, I was going to do that after you said your books. Yep.
I'm still reading Armor.
Okay.
So it's switched now. I guess what I was reading was a in meteor res story. You know how
Okay.
I said he's like down on this battle and he's fighting these ants and everything?
Yes.
It now has cut to first person. Because
Okay.
it was in third person.
All right.
Now we're first person, and he's
Sure.
escaped a prison planet, and I think this has all happened before the battle that I just read.
Okay.
So that's what's going on
That's
in
a lot.
Armor.
That's a lot.
I read X-Men Noir,
Oh.
Mark of Cain. This was a sequel.
Oh, the sequel. Oh, okay. I've read the first one.
Yes. I enjoyed this actually more than the first one.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't enjoy the first one at all. So.
It gets a little confusing with the superhero elements because it's going for like no powers. But I
Okay.
think there is a superhero in this. But I couldn't tell if the person who was a superhero was crazy.
I see.
It was one of those things where like maybe with a defter hand, I'd be like,
I
which
see.
one was it? But at the end, I'm like, is he dead? Is he alive?
Okay.
Okay.
For more, this is written by author Fred Van Lente,
Mhm.
friend of the show. We did an interview with him just a few weeks back. You can find that on SoundCloud.com/allthebooks. We were originally set out to talk Spider-Man, but we ended up talking a lot of Iron Man, and a lot of Fantastic Four. So it's a cool interview all around.
Yeah.
So if you haven't had a chance to read that or listen to that yet, pop over to SoundCloud or wherever you get your podcasts for the All the Books show and find our Off the Books interview with Fred Van Lente.
I've just been reading a lot of old X-Men comics.
Yeah.
So no, you bored everybody with Green Lantern apparently last
Yeah.
week.
Mhm.
I won't go off on the tangent that Nick went with
Well.
Green Lantern, but I will say I'm technically trying to read through like what is Essential X-Men 11.
Yeah, that gets tricky.
But what I'm also now doing is just reading the auxiliary X-Men titles that were around
Oh.
at that time.
Okay.
So I read like the last 3 issues of New Mutants
That's
for no
cool.
reason
All
other
right.
than just to see them become X-Force.
See what's up.
Which
All
is
right.
going to be around that time.
Interesting. Okay.
And so I'm reading the last couple issues of X Factor, where the original 5 X-Men are part of that team, just so I know what led them to coming back to the X-Men proper. And I was like, I'm going to stop once I finish Essential X-Men 11. I think I'm going to keep going because what
Really?
happens is
You're hooked.
next is the Executioner song, which I've only read in pieces, so I need to finish that. But then that just basically leads to Age of Apocalypse,
Yeah.
so why don't I just reread Age of Apocalypse? But then I'm so close to Claremont's Return
Yeah.
in like 98, 99.
Yeah.
Might as well just do that.
Do it.
And that's a good
Keep
excuse just to reread Grant Morrison's new X-Men.
I'll tell you what, I can relate to this so well because when I was rewatching Beverly Hills 90210,
Sure.
Jake from Melrose Place starts on Beverly Hills 90210, and then he and Kelly have a love affair that becomes the pilot of Melrose Place.
Okay.
So I was like, well, we'll just watch the Melrose Place pilot and see the resolution of this story. Watched all of Melrose
Oh.
Place. So much like you and your
Yeah.
X-Men reading, I have now seen the entire Melrose Place
Yeah.
series.
I have to decide if I'm going to then read all the X titles that were out at that time that I hadn't read, such as Cable, X-Force.
I can relate to this so well because when watching Melrose Place, came the time where they were spinning off Models Inc. from Melrose Place. And I thought, do I watch Models Inc.? And I ultimately did not. So I understand what you're saying
So you saved something.
completely.
You saved something for a later look back.
Yeah. Can I be honest with you? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I misled you. Models Inc. is not commercially available. I don't know how I would watch it.
So wait, if it had been, if you had an app
Yes.
that had Melrose Place.
Yes.
Models
I do.
Inc.
It's the CBS app, but Models Inc.'s not on it.
But if Models Inc., Melrose Place,
Yeah.
and 90210
Yeah.
were all on the same app,
Yeah.
you probably would have read.
I would have watched Models Inc. Yeah. It's only one season.
All right.
It's only one season.
Sure.
I did watch the CW Melrose Place as well.
Uh-huh.
And most of the CW 90210.
Okay.
That's it.
And
So,
Archie.
just like the Chris Claremont era of X-Men, I had a similar
you can relate.
experience.
Okay. Whew, well, that's what I read then. Or
Okay.
am reading.
Okay.
I'm reading the comic book novelization of Model Inc.
Right. That's great. Good for you. Good for you. I had a fun-filled weekend
Uh-huh.
because we went to this Bethelwood Center for the Art for what was the 50th anniversary of the original Woodstock concert. We saw Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Right.
We saw the Edgar Winter Band, both of whom played at the original Woodstock.
Right.
And the showstopper was Ringo Starr and his all-star band. So we saw that. It was a lot of fun. Ringo doesn't do much variation, so like we'd seen this show before, so Ringo stuff was pretty static, but there was a couple of things I wasn't expecting. I'm not going to get into it too much because we're going to do this on a special concert-themed episode coming up, but it was a really cool experience to be on the original Woodstock site for the 50th anniversary, see some people who had performed the first time, because we'd actually just watched the movie. Like we were like, well, we're going to be there. We need to know more. So we watched the movie, and that's where I checked it out. Sweet. So the movie's cool. And the concert was really fun. It was my son's first concert. He made it through a lot of it, actually, but ultimately fell asleep. Spoiler alert. Yeah. So I did that. But I also went to the Steamtown Mall in Scranton, and I found myself a lime green Game Boy Color, and I just couldn't walk away from it. So I bought a Game Boy Color, and with it came the Game Boy game A Bug's Life.
Game Boy Color game.
Game Boy Color game A Bug's Life.
With real color.
And so my son and I just started playing it, and it is such a throwback. I haven't played a game, like an actual Game Boy, in, I don't know, at least 10 years. You?
Yeah. 17. I was 17
really?
years old.
Okay, so I have a Game Boy Advance and stuff, and I played that, but that's totally different. This is not backlit. This is like a classic Game Boy, so it brought back a lot of fun memories. And my son was really liking it. So I've been playing through A Bug's Life on the Game Boy Color, and I'll keep you posted on that.
Does it have Dave Foley as the voice actor?
I don't think it's just beep, 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 beep.
That's too bad.
So, but I
Julie
like
Louis-Dreyfus?
I feel his presence. I feel his presence. Julie Louis-Dreyfus? No, I haven't
David I. Pierce?
I have not run into that character yet, but I'm only in level 3. I'm only in level 3, you guys.
He's the only stick with eyeballs.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Okay.
Pretty fun-filled weekend.
Funny.
Do you want to mention your concert? You also went to a concert.
I did go to a concert. I went to go see Tim McGraw. Okay, maybe I should rephrase this. I took my wife to see Tim McGraw.
No.
My wife is the big Tim McGraw fan.
She told me that you really wanted to go and that she would go with you.
I think I knew one song. He sings a song. Well, I think I knew two. He sings one song that goes, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that.
And another one is like, I live where the green grass grows, where the something, something, something. My apologies to Tim McGraw fans.
When I bought a used 1980 Chevy Monte Carlo, I had a Tim McGraw CD stuck in the CD player. So I still have that CD. Yeah. You're welcome to have it. I didn't realize that you were a fan. But
it was a good show. It like when I saw Train and
Goo Goo Dolls.
No, Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams.
They're people that I'm not interested in to see live. Like I would never like, I gotta go see Train.
Yeah.
In this, but I mean, it's just a concert, so it's a good time.
You got one over
he puts
by
up
Tim
on a
McGraw.
fun show. Yeah.
Was Quick Draw McGraw there? Because then I would have been excited.
No, but El Kabong was.
Really?
But I don't think they're the same person.
Oh, okay.
Even though you never see them at the same place.
I never have. So happy birthday wishes to my friend Chris Casali, who appeared with us in episode 197 to talk all about soccer books.
Oh, that's true.
So if you're a fan of soccer and you don't want to hear about Green Lantern, may I recommend episode 197 where Chris drops a lot of soccer bombs right on our heads.
If there's a way we could combine
happy birthday, Chris,
soccer and Green Lantern into a podcast.
Yeah, I would do it, and I believe that Chris would be in on that as well.
And Brightest Day and Blackest
Yeah.
Gold.
Yes. Are you ready to move it? Okay. And got it.
Hey, I stopped for you, not because I had to.
I understand. You stopped because you were out of breath. Let's look at some book news. Let's look at some book news.
Right.
Hey, do you have that Wheel of Time casting information? Because that'd be interesting to point out.
I can get it up.
Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, finished, of course, by Brandon Sanderson, has long been talked about adapting into other media, and now Amazon has picked it up, and they're actually doing some casting on that. This is not a favorite series of mine. I've read the first 2 books, and while I can appreciate it, it's just not my jam.
It's very much these casts is outside of Rosamund Pike, who's playing.
Tell us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy, he's so bland looking. All right, so for Wheel of Time, Rand, you have. Okay, hold on. Joshua Stradowski.
All right.
For the role of, I see where it says. Marcus Ruda will play Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
Perrin was the one who could talk to wolves, maybe. I'm only on book 5.
Okay. And Matt has the axe. Is that right?
Yep, that's being played by Barney Harris.
Okay.
Let's see if they've been in anything. A lot of these people are up-and-comers.
Okay.
Or just brand new.
Wheel of Time, baby. So they're definitely trying to be like, this is Game of Thrones, right? I mean, they're trying to.
I think Amazon wants it to be there.
Happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoe Robbins, who you might have seen in Power Rangers Ninja Steel, will play Nynaeve. Madeline Maiden from Picnic at Hanging Rock will play Egwene. Rosamund Pike is playing
Moraine.
Moraine, yeah. So those are the only names I think that are attached right now.
She seems perfect for that role. From the 2 books that I've read,
she's tall.
She seems perfect for
but
it.
I mean, you can make people look shorter.
How far are you in this series?
I have to start book 5.
Start book 5.
Yeah.
Okay. When this comes out, we'll have to have my wife on this podcast because she is a diehard Wheel of Time fan.
Yeah.
She's read them all. So she could definitely school us on that.
Sometimes she could be like a mean Wheel of Time fan. If you get the naming, if you get the pronunciation wrong.
She does have very specific feelings on how things should be
pronounced. Wheel of Time.
And often that kind of thing is just a personal preference. She believes with her whole heart that her pronunciation is the only correct and acceptable way. And I have no reason to challenge her.
Yeah, I think she was nice to me when I first started, and I was like, how do I pronounce
because of your ignorance.
Or something? Because of my ignorance.
You knew to ask. All right.
But
yeah,
anyway, if I was just on this podcast being like, it's blah blah
so
blah.
So as a Game of Thrones fan, and as a Wheel of Time fan,
I have loved the books that I've read.
Are you excited about this series? You're going to watch it when it comes out? Or are you going to read the books first?
Because I am reading the books, and I'm not planning to stop reading the books.
Are you, though?
I read the first 4.
But like
that's
five years ago?
Pages. When I started here, this job got in the way.
Oh.
You know what? I quit.
Oh, boy.
See you when I finish Tower of Midnight.
So in like 45 years?
See you later.
Okay. But are you going to watch the show? That's my question.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't watched a single Amazon original.
Sometimes you try a topic and it doesn't go anywhere.
You know what? That's not true. I watched the first season of The Tick by Amazon.
Oh.
And it was good, but they canceled it after season 2. You can't trust streaming services.
I guess not.
But you also couldn't trust network.
I think Bosch is doing pretty well. Bosch has had several seasons.
Yeah.
Jack Ryan got...
Bosch is the sound of you being hit in the face with a wet volleyball.
Huh. Yeah, that probably would make that sound. All right. For our next book news, I think we're going to need a little theme music.
Hey, what was that? That was the theme music.
That
for
was
all
our
the awards.
awards theme. Yeah, I like that one. But you were such a bully to Ben about that author music.
Well, it scares me.
Well, you know what that means, folks. That means that we've got some awards to talk about. And Eric, I think you should take it away.
Hey, everybody! The Hugo Awards were just announced.
They sure were.
I totally have the list up right now. Hugo Awards 2019.
We did this.
Where do you want me to start?
Back at episode 190, we were talking about the nominations, and I don't know how to put this.
You have a Star Trek.
Well, I do.
Here.
I do have a Star Trek issue here, absolutely. But I was a little bored by a lot of the nominees, and even the short stories. I read all the short stories, and there were some that I really liked. I don't know. I guess it's fair to say I was not excited by these awards.
By the winners.
Go ahead, Eric. Take it away.
All right. Well, let's do short story because we read all those short stories.
Yes, we did.
You and I together.
Yes.
The best short story. The winner is A Witch's Guide to Escape, a practical compendium of portal fantasies, which I thought was a bit too pandering. I felt it was by librarians for librarians.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, okay. And especially when it was about that, like, oh, I have to wait to show them Harry Potter. Yeah. You wouldn't want to start them too soon with Harry Potter.
Your feelings on this are not subtle.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I don't remember which one I liked. I mean, one had about velociraptors.
Yeah, there were several that I thought were cool. This one, I agree with you. I feel like it didn't. I don't know. I just feel like it's so been done before and better in other places. I
have issues with.
It seems like it's reaching people, so that's
I have issues with awards that seem to be given. How do I phrase it? It happened with the awards that we saw in Seattle, where it seems like certain winners are favorites of the people working in the industry, but then the laymen, just the people reading, have never heard of it. So it happened with the what was the one that it doesn't matter what. It's just sometimes there's a winner. I'm like, and I hear all these librarians in this auditorium just freak out that this won, and I'm like, well, none of my patrons have ever asked for this book.
I think that's a valid point. Sometimes I think there is a disconnect between the people who are reading and reviewing these things versus like the mass audience. So I think what you're saying is this one in particular seemed a little bit more like
this is
it's directed inward rather than out.
This was the short story winner for the same kind of way that Ratatouille was critics' favorites.
I've never seen Ratatouille, so I don't know. What else we got?
Novelettes. If the winner is, if first you don't succeed, try again, by Zhen Chao.
Okay.
Best novella is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells.
Yeah.
We interviewed her.
We sure did. We talked all about her Murderbot series. If you haven't heard that interview, you have but to go a few weeks back. We have that in a special standalone episode, Off the Books, author interview with Martha Wells, and we have shared that on Twitter, so you can take a look at that at Twitter at All the Books Show.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a nice interview with her talking primarily about the Murderbot, but also about some of her other things. So a hearty congratulations to our pal Martha Wells.
Best novel goes to The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal, which I don't know if you remember, but I put the first book. This is book 2. I put the first one on my my to-read list. This is The Lady Astronaut.
Oh, this is the second one? Okay,
Yes.
so The Faded Sky is the first one.
Yes.
Okay. I did that in reverse. I put the wrong one on New Books.
Oh, boy.
I'll fix it. Yeah, this does sound like a really cool series. So 2 books so far, with I think a third expected. But we do have these in the collection, so take a look. Eric mentioned early on my Star Trek problem here, and that's because
Take it away.
The best dramatic presentation short form just completely overlooks Star Trek Discovery. And
Hey,
while like
Calculating Stars is book 1.
Oh, it is.
So I've already added this to my to-read list.
Okay, so Calculating Stars. All right, then I did it right.
Yes.
Stop scaring me.
Sorry.
Best dramatic short form. The winner is A Good Place, where the episode Janet's.
Oh,
so,
that's a great episode.
okay.
That's the one where the Darcy, I can't remember the actress's name.
Okay.
The woman who plays Janet, she has to like play Janet, but she's also playing the other characters who look like Janet. So she's playing like the 4 main cast, and she kills it.
Okay.
She does some pretty good impressions.
Well, I have no ill will against The Good Place or this episode or anything like that. I just, when you have something like a Star Trek Discovery that's really, especially in the second half of the season, is hitting its stride and doing some really, really like thoughtful, well-produced science fiction, to have 2 episodes of The Good Place nominated and Star Trek to be like totally overlooked, I don't understand.
Sorry, man.
Do you?
I don't watch Star Trek Discovery.
Okay.
But I watched The Good Place.
Okay.
Congratulations, The Good
Fine.
Place.
All right.
I don't. Maybe Star Trek Discovery this season didn't count for this award. Maybe we'll see next.
You're right.
We'll see next
It's
awards.
possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best dramatic presentation goes to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I guess I would have given it to Annihilation
totally
for the Hugo Award, but Into the Spider-Verse was great.
It is. It's a great movie.
So.
It's almost a flawless movie. Like I have no complaints about it. I think it's great.
Monstrous Volume 3, Haven, written by Marjorie Lau, won Best Graphic Story. I think this is 3 in a row.
I think it might be.
Okay.
I know I ragged about this in the episode where we talked about the nominations, but it's to me, this category gets a little frustrating because there are just favorite series that every time the next issue
Yeah, I guess will
be nominated.
It'd be more helpful for me if it was like 5 standalone
Yeah, I agree.
graphics.
I agree. Or even like first ones, and then maybe you do something to like recognize a whole series or something. But like, I don't know, just for the list to be so static, to include like next year, I'm sure will be Monstrous Volume 4.
Yeah.
In its
Paper Girls Volume 5.
Yeah. So I just don't know like how. I guess I don't really know what the point is.
I don't know.
Somebody does.
Yeah. So from here, I had already added the Calculating Stars to my to-read list. So
I would like to read the Calculating Stars as well. Yeah, and I really enjoyed reading all of the short stories. Even though this one wouldn't have been my pick, like it was well done, and I think it was well written. But I think it's a fair point that it's directed
Did you know
inward.
Books are nice to read.
Yes. All right.
How nice to read do you think books are?
So that is the Hugo Awards. You can check out the full list at hugooawards.org. Congratulations to all the winners and the nominees. We'll see you next year.
Okay.
And let's continue on with some New York Times bestsellers.
I'm glad in your reading, you finally got to the point where you can start reading Rainbow Six by Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I didn't want to just start you with Rainbow Six by Tom Clancy because it's going to just open up your mind in ways that's going to make you rethink your childhood.
Absolutely.
And really help you deal with like the problems you face when getting on the school bus.
Yeah.
So
I was Rainbow 3 I thought was really slow in the series, you know what I mean? But it found its groove. I think 5 and 6 so far have been really strong. So
what are we doing now?
New York Times bestseller list.
Hey, there's a few new books on this list, so that'll be fun. But to get to those new books, we got some old favorites.
Okay.
These are old favorites of Nick.
Monstrous number 3.
No, that's
sorry.
not here.
Sorry.
I read the first Monstrous, but that was a read.
Yeah.
Because it was just, it felt like maybe they wrote a novel first and then they gave it to an artist to condense. It has some intense world building, let me
Okay.
tell you. Number 10, Chances Are by Richard Russo. Oh, yeah, get out of here, Richard Russo. Get. This is where I want to have a broom, and I just want to
Go on,
push
get.
Chances Are by Richard Russo out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You don't belong in here,
Boy,
Richard Russo.
Nobody's Fool really did a number on you.
It was so long.
It was long and bad.
It was a
and
lot.
boring.
Yeah.
But again, Bridge of Sighs by Richard Russo.
Mm-hmm.
Mwah.
Well, Chances Are is about 3 men in their 60s who met in college. They reunite on Martha's Vineyard, where mysterious events occurred in 1971. So they're in their 60s. They
Okay.
met in college.
Mm-hmm.
Mysterious events in 1971.
Mhm.
Now they're meeting today.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
got it.
Yeah. That was the gist. Summer of 69 by
Bryan Adams.
Ellen Hildebrand. Stop.
Oh, okay,
Every
sorry.
time you say that thing about Bryan Adams,
Yeah.
it's not that.
But
I know. They were the best years of your life,
They
but
were.
sometimes you have to talk about Ellen Hildebrand's Summer of 69.
yeah, we do.
They weren't the best years of her life, but still happened. The Levin family undergoes dramatic events with a son in Vietnam, a daughter in protest, and a dark secret hiding beneath that surface.
Darkness.
Yeah, that beneath the surface thing is something to do with Harrison Ford, I think.
Really?
Right?
Oh, yeah. What Lies Beneath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm. And Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
They reunited after their roles in Batman Returns, where
No,
Harrison
different.
Ford played
Different.
the Penguin.
Different.
Okay. I think the word you're looking for is that was my Harrison Ford.
That's Harrison
attempts.
Ford as the Penguin?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Thank you.
It was not bad.
I was nervous.
I know.
Number 8. Are you just being nice?
No, it was pretty good. I hate to admit it, but I understood what you were doing without even being told. I knew what it was.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
People can't see this on the podcast, but my face is red with
It is.
delight.
Yeah, with delight.
Number 8, The New Girl. Pause for no?
A Zoe
You
Deschanel
son
joke?
of a gun.
I don't know what you mean.
I
I like to keep things fresh.
Daniel Silva,
Good for
The
you.
New Girl. Gabriel Allen, chief of Israeli intelligence, partners with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, whose daughter is kidnapped.
Cool.
When was the last time you partnered with a prince to solve any crimes?
Partnered with a prince?
Yeah, to solve a crime.
I once partnered with Prince on an episode of New Girl. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 7, A Dangerous Man, new this week.
Who's this by?
So I should say number 7, new this week, A Dangerous Man by Robert Crace.
Okay.
Elvis Cole and Joe Pike get
Wow.
more than they bargained for when they
Wow.
investigate an abduction of a bank teller.
Look out.
So what is this?
I don't know. I haven't read this series.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, everybody.
Somebody named Elvis is in it.
That's true.
Come on now. Bank teller. That's all.
Oh,
He's a
okay.
bank teller. Yeah. Hold on.
Number 6,
Peanut butter.
The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. Okay.
A lot of pausing in this episode.
paused and then you- yeah.
I'm sorry.
2 boys respond to the horrors of a Jim Crow-era reform school in ways that impact them decades later. Number 5, new this week, is called Outfoxed by Sandra Brown. FBI agent
Good for
Drex
her.
Eston has a hunch. Sorry, my eyes went cross-eyed. I
Yeah.
didn't really realize. So, yeah, Agent Drex is just having lunch.
He has a hunch over lunch. A
Yeah.
lunch hunch.
Agent Drex Easton has a hunch that a con man, Western Graham, is also a serial killer. Yeah. Thing is, if he's a con man, how are you supposed to believe him if he says
True.
I'm not a serial killer?
True. Yeah. That's
I'm
exactly
not
what a serial killer would say. Yeah.
You are a con man, though.
Right.
One Good Deed by David Baldacci is at number 4. World War II veteran on parole must find the real killer in a small town or face going back to jail.
Okay.
Number 3. Sorry, I'm still leaving you too long of pauses.
You are, yeah.
New this week.
Oh, okay. I'm
The Turn
engaged.
of the Key by Ruth
Ruth
Ware.
Ware, yeah.
A nanny working in technologically laden house in Scotland goes to jail when one of the children dies. Okay.
Mm.
Keep me
Yes.
up to date.
Yes.
Remind me,
Okay.
where are you with Ruth Ware in terms of what you've read and what you've liked?
Well, famously we've read
Woman
The
in Cabin
10, which is okay. It's not terrible.
Go on.
The Lying Game, I think, is probably my favorite thing that I've read of hers. It's flawed,
Uh-huh.
but it's very engaging. Death of Mrs. Westaway,
That's okay.
I feel like I don't know. It didn't quite. You have to just accept this premise that the protagonist is giving you, and for me that was difficult because I just kept thinking, well, why don't you just, you know, and so And so while it's interesting and engaging, that's always in the back of my mind of like, but this doesn't actually hold water. This doesn't make sense. I haven't read the other one, and I don't remember what it's called.
Okay.
I currently have this checked out on Overdrive. So
wow. Okay.
we'll see.
Nick read a girl on the train constantly saying, "Stop drinking."
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you do that?
That's not Ruth Ware, but
No, but
that's Paula Hawkins.
I was taking that
Yeah,
sense of
I know.
why don't you?
Yeah,
and I brought it to a different.
Join a program, you know what I mean? But she just kept puking on buses.
Number 2, new this week, The Inn by James Patterson and Candace Fox, who will not be outfoxed by Sandra Brown.
Yes.
A former Boston police detective who is now an innkeeper must shield a seaside town from a crew of criminals. This has nothing to do with The Inn, but my wife just picked a movie for us to watch a few days ago, and it was The Proposal, which I hadn't seen.
With Sandra Bullock?
Sandra Bullock.
That's funny.
Sandra Brown.
Yeah.
So it does kind of connect. Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. The movie...
And Ryan Reynolds was in Green Lantern.
It was. He was also just in the Scrubs episode I just watched.
Okay.
Anyway, The Proposal takes place in Alaska. But it was filmed in Rockport, Massachusetts, not very far from Boston, which is where The Police Detective from The Inn by James Patterson was in, and Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon. There you go.
Wow. That really came together in the end. So there was really no purpose for that other than you wanting to share that you watched The Proposal.
No, I wanted to talk about how The Proposal filmed in Massachusetts.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was all right.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like that the dog's name is Kevin. That always cracks me up.
Oh, that is funny.
Betty White's in it.
I did kind of think that, help me with her name. Mary, I always say her last name wrong. Steinberg.
I don't know who you mean.
Steinberger. Bergerstein. Back to the Future 3.
Oh, Mary Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen. At one point, she was wearing a sweater, and it was like the perfect mom sweater.
Yeah.
It was just like whoever picked out the clothes for her in this movie just picked the perfect mom.
Yeah, now I want to watch The Proposal.
Uh,
Let's wrap this
also,
up so
I
I
wouldn't
can check
mind
it
if
out.
she was my mom. She seemed like she
Mary
was,
Steenburgen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a cool mom.
She's a good
He's
time.
a
Have you ever
Barry
watched
White's a cool grandmother.
Have you ever watched Clifford with Marty Short?
No.
Charles Grodin?
No.
No. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Martin Short plays a child.
This has nothing to do with Mary Stein.
Oh, no. Steenburgen is like his... Okay, Charles Grodin.
Okay.
The movie Clifford, everyone.
Uh-huh.
Martin Short plays a child who gets dropped off at his uncle's house, played by Charles Grodin.
Okay.
His uncle's getting ready to propose to his girlfriend, who's Mary Steenburgen, but Martin Short, playing the child Clifford, also falls in love with Mary Steenburgen and does what he can to thwart his uncle's proposal plans.
Okay.
Yep.
And Andy McDowell is in a
Not in
new... She's in a new movie called Ready or Not. A new,
Really?
like, horror film.
Really? Well, what does that have to do with anything?
She reminds me of Mary Steenburgen sometimes.
Fair.
Look, this is...
Steenburgen.
This is all to say Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens is number 1
Okay.
this week.
All right. Well, thank you, actually, for adding a little flavor to that because I'm
problem.
tired of hearing that.
All right, what's next?
Well, I'm tired of talking about these old books, so why don't we look ahead
Jeez.
to some new books?
Sorry, Outfoxed. You're out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Now, remind me again, Outfox, is that the sexy romance written by a mother and son, Peter and Janet Ivanovich?
No, that's Sandra Brown.
okay, different.
I told you it.
That's Fox and O'Hare.
I think so.
Their chemistry's off the charts.
Stop.
Okay, we're going to be talking about some of our exciting new books that we're looking forward to in the fall. I'm going to be pulling from lists originally published by Publishers Weekly, a thank you, and Parade Magazine.
Hey, I got one from Brightly, readbrightly.com for YA books of fall 2019.
Cool.
Because I guess that's my contribution to society.
I guess so.
All I can tell you is about young adult books
It's about
coming out.
time you started contributing somehow.
What?
Tell me a young A
A young A?
a young A YA book that you are looking forward to.
Look, I don't know if I'm looking... Okay, so Steel Tide by Natalie C. Parker is coming out September 17th. This is the second book of the Seafire series. The Seafires being an all-ladies pirate young adult series.
Okay.
So this is book 2. After losing her crew... Oh, spoilers for Seafire.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. After losing her crew...
I know.
Caledonia falls in with the Blades, an elusive crew that avoids trouble by keeping themselves hidden. But Caledonia is this is the same person I just read her name the first time. Yeah. Caledonia is determined to overthrow the tyrant who rules the seas.
Caledonia.
And she'll need the Blades' help to do so. Filled with nonstop action, plot twists, romance, and friendship.
Wow.
The second book in the Seafire series is a whirlwind adventure you won't be able to set down. Why didn't you say a whirlpool adventure?
Oh, because of its water theme.
Yeah. So Steel Tide by Natalie C. Parker. If you read Seafire, which was a pretty big hit last year when it came out, it's checked out here at our library quite a bit. There you go. You don't have long to wait. You have less than a month at time of recording.
Well, this is one that I personally, I've never read Margaret Atwood. Have you read any of Margaret Atwood's things?
No.
Of course, The Handmaid's Tale has been a perennial favorite. It's always popular in this series on Hulu, right? Hulu?
Yes, Hulu is very excited to have this show.
Yes, has elevated it even more. Well, we've got a sequel. We've got a sequel coming out called The Testament, and apparently it's picking up 15 years after the original novel. So that's an older book, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's been out for quite a while, yeah.
Is that do you have any idea how old it is?
Hold on.
Okay.
I will check out.
All right.
And
so anyway, sequel to the Handmaid's Tale is coming out. It's always interesting when there's a new, because obviously it's coming out in response to the show being so popular.
Published in 1985.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Goodness.
That's what I thought.
Oh, near future New England. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I'm going to get into
Was
the
Sandra
show.
Bullock there or different? Okay. It's always interesting to me when something like this comes out. Elmore Leonard did something similar when Justified came out, following the Raylan Gibbons character, who had appeared in a couple of Elmore Leonard books, almost in a supporting role. Then the show was popular, and so he wrote a new Raylan book. And then it becomes kind of this weird thing where it's both influenced by the show and kind of a response to the show, but doesn't necessarily follow it.
Force Awakens.
Yes. So this will be interesting.
We're not going to get him. You're not getting away with that. Nick just rolled his eyes and shook his head like I was speaking nonsense.
You like to throw shade at Force Awakens?
No.
You don't.
I was just saying it came out 20 years after the last one.
This is a scoop. Eric does not like throwing shade at Force Awakens.
No, not really.
Okay.
Not right now.
Anyway.
That wasn't the intent.
All that to say, purists of this book, I wonder how they're going to respond to this new sequel.
I don't know.
After everything else. Anyway, Ta-Nehisi Coates has a new one coming out, The Water Dancer. It's his first novel, actually. Now, I've not read his nonfiction works or anything like that. I've only read his Black Panther, which is good. It's very good. It's his first novel, set in the mid-19th century Virginia. It's about a man born in bondage who develops a mysterious power after nearly drowning. He joins an underground resistance and formulates plans to escape. So that sounds pretty good. Have you read his Black Panther stuff?
I haven't yet.
It's a pretty good run. It's a pretty good run.
I was making good time with my Marvel Universe comics until I went back into 1986.
I hear you. That's me and Green Lantern. I was cooking through Rebirth, and then I was like, I better go catch up on Green Lantern.
And it happened when you were watching Party of Five, and you're like, hold on, Naomi Campbell is in Scream, and then you had to watch all the Scream movies.
It's Nev Campbell.
Who's Naomi Campbell?
Somebody else. And I've only seen one Scream movie, and I didn't like it.
It's too gory for you.
It was too gory for me. Thank you. What do you got?
American Royals by Catherine McGee. What if George Washington had become a king instead of a president? Filled with political games and positioning, American Royals is an entertaining novel about 3 teenage siblings dealing with the pressure, romance, and responsibilities that come along with being royalty. Comes out September 3rd, 2019.
Are you personally excited about this one?
I'm excited for anybody who's excited to read.
Good answer. Good answer. I've got another sequel for you.
Oh, boy.
Andre Osman, who wrote Call Me By Your Name, which the novel, I don't think ever really found its footing. And then, of course, the movie was a big critical hit. And that elevated the novel again. So we do have it here in the collection. We have a sequel coming out to that. And this is set 2 decades after the characters meet in Call Me By Your Name. So if you're a fan of that book or that movie, sequel, here it comes. 20 years after the fact would actually make Armie Hammer age appropriate. So, all right, what do you got?
The Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams.
Babysitter's Club?
Hold on to your seat.
Okay.
Esme is trying to navigate her awkward life, make some extra cash, and convince herself that she cannot move things with her mind. When a new girl shows up, Esme suddenly finds herself fighting monsters and saving the world. This funny and fast-paced novel is perfect for the fans of The Babysitter Club and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. On sale September 17th. The Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams. This slightly reminds me of... sorry about that.
Practical Magic?
No, 13 Days of Midnight, I think it was called.
I haven't watched
that.
that.
I read? No, it's a book.
I haven't watched it.
It's a young adult book I read that I liked.
No, haven't seen it.
So there you go.
All right. Did you ever read that sequel to Practical Magic that was coming out?
Did I ever read the sequel to Practical Magic with Sandra Bullock and
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. Was it filmed in Boston? I don't know. Maybe you'd be interested. Patricia Cornwell is coming out with a new novel, known primarily...
Wait, that was it? You asked me that Practical Magic sequel question?
Oh, well, I mean, Alice Hoffman does have a new book coming out, but it's not related to Practical Magic, so I just didn't want to disappoint you is all.
Okay. Somebody famous played the daughter in Practical Magic.
Did they?
Yeah.
Was it Jennifer Lawrence?
No.
Was it Jennifer Love Hewitt?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
It was Evan Rachel Wood.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I guess she's somewhat
Stalker
famous.
Channing was in that?
Really?
Yeah.
As Rizzo from Grease?
No, as Aunt Frances.
Oh. Patricia Cornwell's got a new one coming out, not part of her Scarpetta series. This is a Captain Chase novel. On the eve of a top-secret space mission, NASA pilot, quantum physicist, and cybercrime investigator, Callie Chase detects something amiss in the tunnels below a NASA research center. Clues suggest that Callie's missing twin sister, Carney, may somehow be involved. Wow.
Yeah.
Really threw me for a loop with that twin sister at the end. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Lee Child has a new book coming out, but who's excited about that?
You could go to the bar she was last seen at and just be like, when was the last time you saw me?
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. That'd be a good title.
What if both were played by Rebel Wilson?
Okay,
that changes the tone,
yes,
right?
it does.
Okay.
Unless this is her, dramatic role.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. From the author of Salt to the Sea, which I quite liked, comes a new historical...
Haven't seen it.
It's a book.
Oh, okay.
Young adult book.
Yeah, haven't seen it.
Comes a new historical fiction novel set in 1957. Gosh, we're at the point now where, just 40 years ago is a historical novel.
You think 1957 was 40 years ago?
No.
I'm just curious. I don't know.
A new historical fiction novel set in 1957 Madrid. Romance, danger, and heart-wrenching decisions combine into a riveting account of post-Civil War Spain that you want to binge read all at once. October 1st, 2019.
It's 60 years ago.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
In 5 years, they're going to be like, this historical novel set in 1993. And then you're going to feel old. It's going to say that, and then it's going to head into parentheses, say, feel old yet?
I had to decide whether I was going to get slices of pizza or a tuna sandwich, depending on which one would make me feel worse. So you don't have to worry about me feeling old, Eric.
Because of a book set in the early 90s.
Yeah. Jeez.
I wish it was the early 90s. I could have 3 slices of pizza.
Here's one that would normally be on your list, this author, but she's crossing over.
What?
Leigh Bardugo.
A
YA powerhouse, as she's called. Wrote the Wonder Woman book.
The Six of
recently.
Crows and the Wonder Woman series, yeah.
Anyway, Bardugo's first novel for adults, coming out in October, by the way, sends a broke, desperate teen to Yale, where she discovers the secret societies work nefarious magic. One might say a practical magic.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not. The ghosts and necromancers are spooky.
This kiss was in that movie. You remember that?
Yes.
This kiss. Sandra Bullock's running down the street because she's going to go kiss the guy.
Yeah. I've never seen the movie.
That's the beginning of the movie.
I've only seen trailers. Is it spooky? Sometimes the witchcraft movies spook me out.
It's a bit spooky.
Is
I remember
it really?
as a kid,
Okay.
but I liked it. I don't think it has great ratings.
Anyway, The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. The ghosts and necromancers are spooky, but privilege and power are the real sources of terror. Look out now.
Okay. Hey, look out.
Look out. What do you
right.
got? You got anything else?
Yeah, I got so much stuff.
Pick a couple more. Let's wind it down.
What'd you just say?
Pick a couple more.
Okay. Jackpot by Mick Stone. I said Nick. It made it sound like I said. Do you know that Nick Stone and you spell Nick the same way?
I do. Yeah,
The incorrect way?
I read Dear Martin by
Yeah,
Nick Stone. Pretty
that's
good.
true.
Pretty good.
Jackpot by Nick Stone. Rico spends
Is
all
it
her.
somebody's name Jackpot, or it's like Jackpot?
It's called Jackpot.
Okay.
All bets are off.
Oh, look out.
Rico spends all her time at school, work, or caring for her younger brother. When she sells a winning lottery ticket to someone who doesn't cash it in, she enlists the help of a wealthy and handsome Zan to track down the winner. October 15th, 2019.
You excited about that? Have you read any of these that you plan on reading yourself?
Maybe that Babysitter's Coven.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Okay, here's one that I do want to read, but I've been burned a few times lately.
I would like that book to open up with the person she's babysitting for, the parents, to be
Yeah.
like, remember, no parties and no boys. And then they leave, and then there's a demon.
Tell me, okay, I want... It's not bad. Tell me if you can guess the author of this one based solely on the synopsis.
Okay.
And if you can't,
Okay.
the internet is going to tear you apart.
Oh, goodness.
This lean and toothy novel pits psychic kids against exploitive adults. This variation on this author's favorite themes displays his talent for writing intimate, personal narratives without a wasted word.
What? Stephen King?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Stephen King. This is The Institute by Stephen King, coming out in September. I actually am kind of excited about this because it feels a little bit like a return to form. I tried to read, what's that called? Is it The Stranger? What's that one?
The Outsider.
The Outsider, yes, thank you. Tried to read that. I don't like Stephen King procedural novels. I don't like them.
Or the ones where missing children.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Nick was trying to read The Outsider while his 5-year-old just kept going, "What are you reading, Dad?"
You're right. You're not far from the truth. Pet Sematary almost killed me because of that. But no, that and like the Mr.
I can't
Mercedes.
live on a main road after reading the Pet Sematary.
I bet.
It's like, no, how far of this is
I
from?
just don't like those when it's written more like a James Patterson. I don't care for those. And I've just never read Sleeping Beauty. I always try and it just doesn't appeal to me. So anyway, The Institute's coming out in September, and I think I'm going to give this one a shot. Dip my toe back in the pond.
Yeah,
that
you
is
like
Stephen
psychic
King.
kids rebelling against the authority.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you?
Yeah, because I'm a psychic kid. Just kidding. You don't have authority. Whoa! No, you do. You do. Tell me to do something. I'll do it.
Let me read this title.
Okay.
War Girls by Toshi Onobushi. War Girls is a breathtaking story about Anyi and Iffy, sisters who are pulled apart by a civil war and struggle to find each other again. Set in a futuristic Nigeria where the climate is radioactive and humanity is ravaged by war, the sisters are determined to find peace and hope. October 15th, 2019. This guy, pointing at myself, 2 thumbs pointing towards me.
Okay.
I'd like to read this.
Really?
Sounds good, yeah.
Well, look at that.
Every now and then you read something where you think like, oh, I get it, and then you read like a next line and it's just like an even bigger twist kind of thing. You know, like, these sisters are pulled apart by civil war. Also, the whole world is radioactive. Also, green beans are sentient and now rule a small government in Australia.
Wait, is that true?
Also, Pluto's a planet again. But
that's
bad
fun.
news, it's
That's
full
good
of
news.
diamonds that are radioactive.
Darn it.
Will those radioactive diamonds be able to offset the radiation of the Earth? Find out at 11.
I just needed to see where that ended.
Sorry, yeah. I panicked.
All right.
No, but War Girls sounds good.
I need to tell you before I start that
Hold on, the cover? The girl on the cover has a robot arm.
Ooh.
I'm double in.
You're way in. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to tell you when I start that this is not a sequel or a prequel, a threequel or a squeakquel. It's not a midquel.
Stop. You need
It's
to
not
shut
related.
up with squeakquels. That was a brief moment in time wrought by the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies.
The squeakquel.
Only the second one.
Yeah.
We had 2 movies after that.
Yeah.
Stop.
Squeakquels.
Ugh.
I think the third one was a threequel.
Okay,
technically.
just go.
But something like
it was chipwrecked.
Beauty,
for one.
Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas is a midquel because it happens in the middle of a movie.
Right.
That's a real thing.
Okay. And
If
so
it's a
does
woodland creature, it is by definition a squeakquel. That's just how it works.
Right.
Okay.
My Jurassic Park fan fiction is kind of a midquel because it takes place directly after Jurassic Park 1, but before The Lost World.
Well, then I think it's a sequel to Jurassic Park 1.
But it takes place before, but now 2 is already out.
Oh, so it's a prequel to that.
It's a midquel.
All right. Anyway, this is not connected to practical magic, but Alice Hoffman's The World That We Knew, and it's 1941, during the Nazi regime's rule, and Honeycomb knows he has to do something to protect his daughter Leah, taking her to meet a distinguished rabbi. But it's the rabbi's daughter who bonds Leah's life to the life of a mystical Jewish creature who protects her and shows her the true joys of life. Sounds kind of spacey, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Has
see.
she written anything since Practical Magic?
That sequel to Practical Magic. Alice Hoffman is pretty prolific. She's written quite a few things.
Okay.
What else you got for me?
Games of Deception by Andrew Marinis. In 1936, America's first Olympics basketball team boarded a ship for Berlin, Germany, to compete in the Summer Olympics. But through a carefully crafted veneer, Germany kept hidden the horrors happening in their country. Basketball fans and history lovers alike will be enthralled by the riveting true account. November 5th, 2019.
All right, I think I got one more. You good with that?
Yes.
Okay. Ann Patchett, who is always a favorite here, one of our most popular authors, Ann Patchett, has a new one coming out called The Dutch House. World War II has just ended, and Cyril Conroy has earned a fortune building a beautiful home to surprise his wife with. But with the house comes turmoil, and when Cyril's children are kicked out by their stepmother, the 2 siblings begin a new life of sorrow and betrayal that will carry them for decades. That sounds unpleasant. That sounds kind of sad, actually. Does that sound sad to you, or did you like it?
Sad.
So yeah, I think so
had to
too.
pick
All right, bring us home. What's your what
Did I
YA book?
like it?
Do you? Well, I was intrigued by it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
give me a YA one you're excited about.
I've already read the ones I'm excited about.
Give me one that you think will be popular then.
Blood Heir by Amelia Wen Zhao. Readers everywhere are buzzing about this highly anticipated dark fantasy retelling of Anastasia. When her father, the emperor, is murdered, Princess Anastasia is framed for the crime. In order to save herself and her country, Anya joins forces with the crime lord that rules the underbelly of the city. This lush and binge-worthy novel is a must-read. November 19th, 2019.
You know, I am always fascinated by the Anastasia story.
Yeah, it's the John Cusack connection.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah, that must be it.
yeah.
No, I do really like that story. Are you familiar with this author? Is this someone you know who's written other?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Well, that does sound interesting to me. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll give that a shot.
Same.
Tell me what it's called again. You closed it.
Blood Heir.
Blood Heir. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch the Yul Brynner Anastasia movie?
No, but I will watch Don Bluth's Anastasia most any time.
Okay, I've never seen it.
What?
Yeah,
With
I've never
Meg
seen it.
Ryan.
I've never seen it.
John Cusack.
Never seen it.
Frasier.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer.
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lloyd.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, never
She's
seen
in
it. Never seen it.
Do you know the songs?
Like, have you heard there's a rumor?
Yeah.
Not really.
Heart, don't fail me now.
Never heard it.
Really?
Yeah.
And the musical.
Weirdly enough, I have seen the Bartok movie. So
I believe
I
that.
don't.
If you see the musical that's going around, they cut out Rasputin,
Okay.
which is Christopher Lloyd, and
Yeah.
they cut out all his like scenes, which means
Yeah.
they took out my favorite song from that, "In the Dark of the Night."
Yeah, I've
It's like-
heard your impression.
Yeah, and for me, "In the Dark of the Night" is like the be prepared of
I'm
that
gonna
movie.
I'm gonna need a sampling of it. Oh, so it drags the plot down and
It's
is not interesting?
no, it's so good. It's like
Oh.
"In the dark of the night, evil
No,
will find
I need to hear it
her,
as
find
Christopher.
her."
I need to hear it as Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, I can't do it, Christopher Lloyd.
I've heard you do it before.
I can't
Do it.
In the dark of the night.
Oh, that was bad.
I can't do it, Christopher Lloyd.
That was terrible. Yes, you can. I've heard it, but that's fine. So those are some of the books that we and others
Hank
are excited
Azaria is the
about.
bat.
Bartok?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's cool. I like
it's
Hank
pretty good.
Azaria.
Listen, last time I watched it, I did cry at the end.
So it
When-
must be most movies.
Jeez.
All right. These are some of the books that we're excited about.
Mhm.
Most of these we will have in our, probably all the ones we mentioned, I think are just automatically
A lot of
ones
those
we're gonna
YA, yeah.
have right here in the collection. So you can
Oh,
check them
yeah.
out from here or your local library.
Hold on. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was some sick motorcycle action that
seriously.
just happened outside.
That probably the mics even picked that up. So enjoy that sick motorcycle, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it. You got some library news?
Where are we in August? We're not in September just yet, are we?
We're not.
It feels
the,
like it.
The book club is currently reading a book called Asunder. We're going to meet the first Tuesday of September over at the Creative Arts Center at 3:30. This is part of our Around the World book club. We're focusing on authors from Mexico, so you can check this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'll say about it.
Okay.
I didn't really like it,
Oh.
but that's
Yeah.
that's just a personal opinion that I
Yeah.
didn't even express.
Part and parcel
So-
with Nick.
What?
When's the last book you ever liked?
What's the last book that I liked? I think I've been on a good streak, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm just teasing
No,
you.
thanks for being rude.
I was teasing
Harry's
you.
last tax cut. You.
You loved it.
I did. Yeah.
That was like
Try to get Jim Whitecard on the cast. Is he not
Yeah.
checking his email?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nick had the same reaction
Standing
to
invitation, Jim.
reading that as a giraffe would to drinking the ooze from Ninja Turtles.
Do they like that?
It would transform them.
Oh, it transforms.
They would mutate them.
I tell you what, I could not keep it together in that episode last week when
I
we were
know.
talking about that book. It was
Yeah.
killing me.
It was
I want
wild.
you to read it. I know
It's
you
like
won't. but I
Joker
want you to.
gas was in the
It
fence.
was. It was. We don't know because the book's never been opened before I picked it up.
That's true. Yeah, you
know
opened
what
it, the
though?
green mist came out.
I've now taken it out of the Lonely Hearts
Book club,
running. It can't be anymore because
Yeah.
I have checked it out. I have broken
Right.
a decades-long tradition.
Same thing I did with the Wolfen.
Yep.
Ruined
Yep, it's been sitting there for 40 years
Yeah.
since
I keep meaning-
1957.
it. Blake's Therapy is still on my list.
Yeah.
Remember
I
that
think I
one?
read Blake's Therapy.
That sounded so weird. It
No,
was
I
like a-
didn't. I didn't read Blake's Therapy.
Somebody
I
was
read Raymond Carver, the Carver Nixon.
Right.
Nixon
Somebody, the description for Blake's Therapy was like, it would be like Crichton's Best, but it's also this pseudo-sexual
Yeah.
psychosis.
Go back and revisit that episode. I don't remember what number it is, but man, SoundCloud.com/allthebooks, anywhere you can find your podcast.
Yeah.
And look for episode 12,
Yep.
Blake's Therapy, because
Yeah.
that was a trippy book.
Yeah, this CEO/sex therapist
Yeah.
slash
Yeah.
therapy
Therapy
goer.
dog. Oh.
Therapy dog.
Sorry, I thought you were heading there.
Yeah, therapy dog.
Yep. We've got Mike Randall coming as Mark Twain. That's next month, early September, so you look out for that.
Sing In the Dark of the Night like your Mark Twain
In the
impression?
Dark of the... in the Mark Twain. I don't have one.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
This is going to be a weird episode to edit.
Yeah, not fun.
We've been on a weird streak these past 2 episodes.
We have been. Well, 200-plus episodes. What are you going to do?
It's getting out of the summer, out of all that stuff. Now we're just on our own again.
Yeah.
We don't have awards or interviews to buoy us in the waters.
Although we did just
madness.
do a mini segment on the Hugo Awards that came out. So that kind of flies in the face of what you just said. But, it's... These are tough times.
Yeah.
These are tough times.
You're the fly that was on my face that I swatted off and is now in my ointment of life.
Huh. What do you use an ointment for? You got aches and pains?
Dry skin.
Okay, that's fine. Don't put it in open sores.
All right. What are we talking about next week? Do you have that plan?
Next week, I think will probably be our concert episode,
Yeah.
right?
No promises.
So at all of the concerts we've attended over the summer, we've done little mini segments live from each of the places that we've been. So we're gonna put all those together, and hopefully it works.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it? I am.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any of the things we've done since we recorded them. So
what was the music I used for the travelogue?
The author spotlight.
No, really?
Yeah.
The boom. Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to
I
pull
love
that
the
up.
ALA Travels is another fun travelogue episode if you want to check that out.
All right. Well, that's it. I got nothing. Why don't you sign us off?
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Congratulations once again to our friend Martha Wells. You can check out our interview with her at soundcloud.com/allthebooks, and we will see you next week.
And see you later, Twitch.
That was weird.
What?